Well, hello everybody and welcome back to another weekly reading vlog. I hope y'all are doing very, very well. Hopefully spring is right around the corner. Maybe we'll see a little bit of it in this vlog. I'm very much anticipating that, as I did not quite see it in last week's reading vlog. But before I get too ahead of myself, let me chat about what I'm planning to read this week. So last week I started the fifth. Wow, I really have said that this is the fifth Gamache book so many times, and so if it's wrong, whoops, I really am just leaning into it. But I've started The Brutal Telling, which is one of the fifth, sixth, fourth Gamache books. This is a mystery series by Louise Penny that follows a very famous detective named Armand Gamache, and he solves mysteries surrounding this town called Three Pines, which is a little village in Quebec. It is not quite a cozy mystery, not quite a thriller mystery, but maybe somewhere in between. I have made it through about halfway through this book, and this one is set in the city of Three Pines. Some of the books go kind of like Three Pines on location, so they go somewhere else. But this one is right at the heart of the city. So basically, somebody has turned up dead on the floor of Olivier's Bistro, which is a central point to the town. Kind of, you can think of it as like Luke's from Gilmore Girls. But someone has turned up dead, and so they have called in, of course, the detective Gamache to figure out why. And it really puts the character of Olivier front and center in this book, and you answer a lot of questions about him and find out a lot more about him as a character. And really enjoying this, although I did say in the last vlog that I think that this is slightly longer than maybe some of the other Gamache books, so it does feel a little bit draggy in the middle. But I'm about, I think I'm on page like 300, no, I'm page 200 out of around like a little less than 400. So nearing the halfway point, and I'm still enjoying the mystery. I'm enjoying the ambience, the coziness, but the pacing feels maybe a little bit off in this book. Otherwise, I think I'm not going to pick another book quite yet because I have nothing else on my TBR that's just like jumping to the top that I absolutely want to pick up after this. So I think I'm going to just see how I'm feeling once I finish The Brutal Telling. Otherwise, this week is going to be extremely busy. I'm back to my busiest work week, and so I anticipate my reading this week is going to serve the purpose of relaxing me, calming me down, being something fluffy and just like easy to get through, easy to digest. But I haven't quite figured out what that's going to be yet. Hopefully I get to read outside again this week too, because I really, really enjoyed that when I got to do that last week, and it's just been a little bit too cold to jump back into that. So I'm hoping I get to do a bit more of that this week. And I think those are the big updates. So anyways, welcome to the vlog. I'm going to go edit last week's vlog and upload it for you guys. And then I think I'm going to watch the Love is Blind reunion and heat up some orange chicken and just like chill on the couch in my pajamas. Monday afternoon. Today was beautiful and I was off work. So I actually went to the garden center because I always do this thing on the first warm day. I want to like plant all of the things outside, and then I know like we're going to have a cold snap and that's a bad idea. I did finally move my berry plants out of the garage. They were in there all winter because I didn't want like the really bad frosts to get to them, but they're now out on the patio again, which is such a lovely feeling. And I've set up the chairs of the patio, and I bought so many seeds today that I want to start some of them outside, some of them inside. Tyler and I absolutely love gardening, so it was just such a treat to like look through all of the seeds and figure out what we wanted to grow this year. But I think I'm going to do a little seed haul for you guys, which may or may not be the least interesting thing to ever happen or to be in your YouTube feed. But to me, whoops, I just dropped a book on the floor. But to me, it's something that I care deeply about. But your reward for this is that I did finish a book, and I will tell you about it in just a second. So I got these little shallot onions, which look lovely. They are very frost tolerant. It says 100 days, so those could be good ones to start outside. Likewise, I got some beets. These are also very frost tolerant, so I have to figure out if those would be good ones to start soonish or if they need to be inside. Kale, of course. Lettuce. And broccoli rabe. I like to cook this with pasta and like some smoked salmon. My dad always cooks that. That's one of his specialties. And then we have sugar snap peas. This was a favorite from last year. I would love just like rolling into the driveway and grabbing some sugar snap peas on my way indoors and just eating them straight off the plant. We have some, sorry if this is like ASMR, but not in a good way with the microphone. Some spring onions, Brussels sprouts. These are extremely frost tolerant. Who knew? 85 to 110 days. Crazy. 4 months before your average first frost day. I think you can literally grow these in the middle of the winter. More lettuce. Arugula, one of my favorite. I actually made an arugula salad today with some brie, fig spread, and turkey. So one day maybe I can put my own arugula. All right, just a couple more. I really went overboard. But every seed packet is only like $1, so you just kind of go. I got some bok choy for stir fry. I love doing bok choy and like soy sauce. Chamomile, of course. I do have mint for tea, but I thought chamomile would be another one to grow for flowers, for tea. More arugula. Swiss chard. This is the rainbow variety. They are very pretty and have very pretty kind of rainbow stems. Baby spinach in a big. More sugar snap peas. These are sugar daddy, so slightly different variety. And last but not least, these beautiful beets. They're like all different colors and are honestly stunning. We also have some seeds from last year, more of these summery things like tomatoes. So those would definitely be like a start indoors right now and then figure out what is going to happen with them. But I got some seed trays and some potting soil. So when I finally get a moment, I'm going to kind of do a little bit of garden planning and get some of those going. I also went for a run today, got my brows done today, and Tyler and I went out for pizza for dinner, and it was very lovely. A good way to have like a refresh day before going back to work tomorrow. And of course, I did quite a bit of reading. So I finally finished The Brutal Telling by Louise Penny, and I gave this a heartbreaking 3 stars. 3 stars is like an average rating, a decent rating for most books. But for this series, it is like a devastating rating because I think I've rated the rest of them 5 or 4 stars. What I will say, the writing was fantastic throughout this book, as it has been throughout this entire series. The characters, amazing, especially the ones that we know and love and have been in many books. The plot of this felt like a big old mess. The mystery felt like a mess, and I don't really believe the solution to the mystery. I feel like in further books, perhaps they are going to debunk what is at the end of this, which is irritating. Maybe it will stand. Maybe the detective actually solved it correctly, but I just do not believe it, and I refuse to believe it. If you know, you know. Yeah, this was really, really disappointing and heartbreaking, but I'm going to continue on, of course, because it's Louise Penny and because it's this series and because if I don't read about Ruth Zardo's pet duck, I might die on the inside. But this was a little heartbreaking. I've been reading a lot of mysteries recently, a lot of kind of heavy stuff. So I wanted like fluff. I wanted something really fluffy and quick to read for this very busy week of work. So I'm going to be picking up The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Very intrigued by this. I think this is like a BookTube, Book Talk favorite book. But I hadn't really heard about it until, like, I'd recognized the cover when I went to Half Price Books, and so I kind of picked it up and looked at the back, but I hadn't, like, heard the synopsis of it before. So this is a romance book about two characters who are not living in the same time period. So it says, when she moves into her late aunt's apartment, she finds a strange man standing in the kitchen, a man with kind eyes, a southern drawl, and a taste for lemon pies. Me too, man. Her well-laid plans begin to fall apart. He's the type of man who, before it all, she would have fallen head over heels for, and she still might, except he literally exists in the past. I added a literally. Except he exists in the past. 7 years in the past, to be exact, and she quite literally lives 7 years in his future. I don't quite know what to make of this, but I'm really excited to pick up something that I can't like turn my brain off for, but is a little less like heavy and intense than some of the other things I've been reading recently. So I need to go to bed. Busy day at work tomorrow. I might read a chapter of this before I go to bed.
Just where it was needed, gleamed in black as night, cloistered in injustice, dead in the eye of time. Nobody is losing.
All right, so we have a cat here, Gilbert Cat, popping in for a little update, and a LaCroix. So it's currently Saturday. This week absolutely flew by because I've just been so unbelievably busy at work. I almost stress adopted 3 cats, which is not a good thing. When I say stress adopted, when I am stressed out with work and when I'm very busy, I have this like pathologic problem where I want to adopt animals. It's not good. And I know that I have to talk it through with Tyler because I know being a 5-cat household is a lot to take on. So thankfully we talked it through and realized that that's not a good idea. But there were 3 little kittens that were very bonded, and I very much wanted to make them part of our family, but I know it's not a good time. We're about to get married. We have a lot of expenses this year. So we talked, I got talked off the ledge from that one. And it's been a very nice spring week, but also very like representative of spring. We've had some really nice warm sunny days, some cold nights. You don't know if you should be putting the air conditioner or the heating on. And then last couple of days, we've had a lot of very crazy thunderstorms that just kind of blow up out of nowhere. But it's been nice. It feels like we're finally changing the seasons and things are moving along with the year. I have read quite a bit of this actually. Page 179. This is a very quick, speedy, turn your brain off read, which is what I wanted. So we are following our main character, Clementine. And she in the beginning has lost her aunt, unfortunately, but she's going to live in her aunt's apartment for a while for some kind of complicated reasons. But when she goes there, there is a mysterious man who is living 7 years in her past. So we go from there. Basically, the rest of her life is in the present. It's just when she goes into the apartment, just like her life is in the past then, which took me a while to figure out what was going on with that. But it kind of makes sense. You just have to suspend your disbelief a little bit and it works. So basically the question is like, first of all, are they going to fall in love? Probably, because it's a romance. Second of all, can they ever find each other in the future? Can a relationship even work in this weird like situation? But yes, it is very quick, fast chapters, quick pace. There is not a whole lot of smut so far, although we haven't like gotten too far into things. I don't actually know if Ashley Poston's romance writing is smutty because I've only read her like Cinderella retelling one, and I'd imagine that that's probably different than her standalone romances. Something else that we're exploring in this book is that Clementine is working as a book publisher and she likes that, but you get the sense that it's not her passion and she wants to kind of explore some of the things that she's always wanted to do. So she's at a bit of a crossroads in her life. And so it's interesting that at a really tough time at a crossroads, she's also flashing back or interacting with someone in the past. It kind of puts things at perspective. Wow, there is like a child just like screaming in our street. I think he's playing. He looks happy. But yeah, enjoying this so far. It is exactly what I wanted this week. It is just easy, quick, fun reading. I probably going to read a bit more. Tyler and I are going to start this new season of Top Chef tonight. It is our favorite TV show. It's the TV show we always watch together. This season is like the Top Chef US show, but it's in Canada, which I'm very excited to watch. I don't actually know how many episodes are. I want to say it's just like the premiere, maybe the first episode after that. But we're going to enjoy some Costco meatloaf and watch some Top Chef, maybe read a bit more. It would be lovely if I could finish this before this vlog is done, but we will see. I feel like this is almost the exact same setup from the beginning of the vlog. It's like my same t-shirt I was wearing, same maybe not ideal lighting, same like exact everything. But of course, a week later. Anyways, I wanted to pop in and wrap up the vlog for you guys. I did just finish 7 Year Slip. I actually really enjoyed this. I gave it a 3.5 stars. It was a solid romance. It had a good love story and it had some other themes that I think it explored well. Particularly in this book, it explored change and like fear of change, grief, kind of the leap of faith in discovering your interests and your passions rather than just kind of like run of the mill going about your life. That's not a theme, but you know what I mean. And it did have a solid relationship, although compared to other romance books I've read, the relationship isn't quite as central as I thought it was going to be, but still a solid bond. Maybe not my favorite connection between characters I've ever read, but it was at least believable enough to make the story enjoyable. So 3.5 stars. Definitely enjoyed it, and it was the perfect, quick read that I needed this week. So, overall this week, I think I have already lost. Oh no, I have Brutal Telling. Overall this week, I ended up finishing Brutal Telling, which I gave 3 stars, and I finished 7 Year Slip, which I gave 3.5 stars. Who would have thought that I would give a higher rating to a random romance than I would to probably one of my favorite series of all time? But here we are. Welcome to spring. Welcome to 2025. If you made it to this point in the vlog, leave me a plant or a seed emoji for my definite like gardening vibes that I had this week. And with that, I will see you guys very soon with another video.